Hi, everybody. Today we are going to talk about beliefs and what kind of beliefs do you have? What beliefs, what stories are you telling yourself, and how does this relate to your goals? Because I talk to a lot of people and they say, I've got my vision board, I've got my goals written down, I have my goal card. What does that have to do with belief? If I didn't believe it, then I wouldn't take the time to write it down. So I'm going to read again out of our Thinking into Results program. And it says, courageously begin to analyze your beliefs one at a time. Ask yourself if you have good and sound reasons for each one of your beliefs. As you do this, you will find that many of your strongest convictions have absolutely no foundation. You will realize that some of your beliefs are also totally absurd. Our beliefs about anything are based upon our evaluation, and we are free to reevaluate any of them at any time. As you begin to evaluate who you truly are and what you are capable of doing, you will find your belief about your own ability to enjoy the situations you just imagined that change dramatically. It is recommended that you analyze your beliefs regularly. It will be like mental house cleaning. I absolutely love that. Is that something that you're taking time to do? Do you do a mental house cleaning? And the awareness is definitely the key. I know for me, I wasn't able to do any mental house cleaning because I wasn't even aware that my beliefs were a problem. And I was just so used to having, the thoughts and beliefs that I did have about a situation. They had become so commonplace and they were so frequent. I didn't even think about it. That's where the habit was. The habit was in the negative thinking space, because my belief had been so incredibly strong, and because it had gone on for so long, it was a habitual, permanent sort of belief system. And it wasn't until one of my mentors had pointed it out to me, do you even listen to yourself? Do you even hear what you're saying right now? And I have to say, I had to sit back and say, no, I wasn't actually listening to what I was saying. It just was a habit. And so, if you're kind of in that way of thinking, what I would do is take a quick moment, or at least what I was told to do, was write down, what do I think about this particular goal, or what do I think about this particular situation? Am I on the positive side of the belief system, or am I on the negative side of the belief system? And then once I was able to be aware of that first part, then I started writing down, well, what did I believe about this? And it was interesting because I was talking to somebody in regards to money, and they were saying, they really wanted to change what they were currently doing as a career, but they were like, well, those people, are bad. And those people, they kept phrasing them as those people. And it was interesting, our conversation, because I said, do you even know that this is what your belief system is? And they were like, well, no, not really. They had never really thought about it. And I said, well, do you know even where those beliefs came from? And they said they used to hear it as a child, sitting around at the dinner table. Their parents were talking about those people or these people, and, saying that, they had all of these outlooks and beliefs about money, about these people that earned, that were in this particular career, and they were earning this money. And they had, like myself, they had just gone along with this belief system for so long. It had never been challenged. It had never been questioned. It just kind of perpetuated throughout the course of their life, and they never really had a reason to reevaluate it. And it wasn't until we were having our conversation where I said, is this even serving you? Is this belief system moving you towards your goal, or is it moving you away from your goal? And I know throughout the rest of our chat, this was life-changing information for them. They're like, I never even thought about how it would impact, my future goal and where I was moving towards. And I said, you can't move past your belief. You can't, you can only do, we talk about our identity a lot, and our identity is based within beliefs. That is what it is. It's 100% about your belief systems and your habits. And so I'll read another part here. Habits are ideas that automatically express themselves through behavior without any conscious thought. Just take a moment to think about that. I'm going to say it again. Habits are ideas that automatically express themselves through behavior without any conscious thought. They are ideas that are fixed in the subconscious mind. Non-productive habits can be overpowered through the repetition of new beliefs that are planted in the subconscious mind with strong emotion, resulting in a new habit. And this is what we were talking about, where I was saying to this person, you can't outperform your belief. And they were so determined to achieve the new goal, to get through the new career and start freeing themselves up. And I said, you can want it, wish it, fulfill it, but if you don't believe it, it's just going to make things longer to get there. It's not that you'll never get there, with determination, perseverance, that within itself makes anything possible. But you really need to look at, where are your beliefs? Where are your beliefs moving you forward? And where do your beliefs hold you back? And if you're talking about changing your career and you're wanting to start earning, more money, what are your belief systems around money? What are your belief systems about that career that you're wanting to move into? And where are all the silent, the points where you're not aware, and take some time to really sit and chat with someone. That's what we do here. We provide the mentorship. We go through these situations with you. So just like that other person where you can have that massive aha moment, and where they were like, I didn't even realize this is how I was thinking. I didn't even realize that these were the thoughts I was having. And so what we do, I know for myself and for the people that we work with, we're like, okay, stop. Every time those thoughts and the habit of that thought pattern pops up, you need to just stop and cancel right away. That's it. And what you need to do is replace that with your new belief. You're like, okay, I'm not thinking that way today. I'm not. I'm going to take control of myself. I'm going to take control of my thoughts and feelings. And I'm going to be responsible, and I'm going to insert my new habit. My new habit is my new belief system about XYZ, about my goal, about, insert whatever it is that you're working on. This is going to be my new habit today, is I'm going to insert my new belief, and I'm going to do it consciously. I'm going to do it with awareness. I'm going to do with emotional enthusiasm, and I'm going to take responsibility. And this is going to be what I do. And I know for myself, for any of you that are like, oh, okay, sure, no problem. I've taken on some really old programming, and it became to the point where every day I had to stop myself, and I was like, no, I'm not thinking this way today. I'm not going to do it. It's like, you know what? It's like giving up the bag of potato chips or whatever it is for you. But I'm like, I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to insert my new habit. I'm in control of my thoughts. And I know with the repetition of doing that, for me, it was taxing in the beginning. It was new, right? And every time I caught myself, I actually got to the point where I started writing some of it down, and I'm like, this is happening a lot throughout the day. And I realized all the years that I was thinking this way. I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I put so much energy and time into something that wasn't serving me. And then I was so incredibly grateful that I was given the gift of awareness so that I could put the time and energy into fixing it. I don't know if you've ever talked to anybody that's, in their older golden years. And a lot of what they say is, they wish they had the awareness sooner. So for me, when I practiced my gratitude, I was just really, really grateful that I was able to gain the awareness where I could fix it, where I could do something about it, where I am empowered and I am able to make those conscious choices and decisions every day to implement change and make moving in the direction a positive one. That's really powerful stuff. So I'll just close today with something from Napoleon Hill. And if you haven't read Napoleon Hill's books, I would definitely get one right away. His Think and Grow Rich, life changing. Those are principles, that you can start implementing right away. So Napoleon Hill writes, no one's ready for a thing until they believe that they can acquire it. So when you're having your quiet time today, I would really take a moment to think about that. No one's ready for a thing until they believe that they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief and not mere hope or wish. Our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something, and frequently, if we reevaluate situations, our belief about those situations will change. You will never go beyond where you believe you can go. Praxis is the integration of belief with behavior. And so, again, everybody, the Thinking into Results program, this is what we do. This is what we really focus on is, how do you start to set the goals, B, gain the awareness of what your beliefs are, what your habits are, what you're doing in order to achieve those goals. And when you're implementing the habits, how does the belief align with that? Do you believe that it's possible? Or do you believe, that it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, you're not going to like it? Then whoa, stop, cancel. We're not going to have those thoughts today. We are going to take personal accountability and responsibility, and we're going to start with just the act of implementing new beliefs. We're going to stop the old pattern of thinking, and we're going to take responsibility and put in those new phrases that, I love what I'm doing. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm achieving and winning all of my desires and dreams in an easy and successful way. We're going to start implementing that new language and those new patterns of thought that are going to build our belief stronger and become more confident so that we can get up every day excited to move towards success, to move towards the achievement of our goal and see the results of the new person that we are becoming, the person that you were meant to be, the person that I was meant to be, and how we're all going to shine and be of better, greater service to the world. And really, at the end of the day, that's all we're here to do. If you want to earn more money, you need to provide a greater sense of service, and you need to solve problems for people. And how are you going to solve problems for people if you can't even solve your own? So, these definite new way of building habits for success and building new beliefs, this ties in to your identity and, building all the new building blocks of success that you're going to need to propel you into a brighter and more successful future based upon ease and, having a positive alignment of flow instead of, the constant drudgery that can be felt and can be viewed upon. We're going to move from negative thinking into positive thinking, and we're going to stay in positive thinking because at the end of the day, we're here to grow. We're here to become bigger, brighter, better versions of ourselves. And, we're going to be of more service to everyone around us because of all the work that we've done. So hit like and subscribe. I really appreciate everybody in the community. I love hearing your wins. I love hearing, what you're going through and how you're getting through the other side to the growth. You're seeing the results of success. And I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you so much for letting us know how these videos are inspiring you. Thank you for your comments and letting us know the kind of content that you're continuing to want to see. So we'll see you on the